Good afternoon, everyone. Gabe Velazquez here with you, transparenttrading-solutions.com for Friday, September 1. Welcome back, everybody. Let's get right into it. We starting a new month, seasonally been the weakest month of the year. VIX at 13. Bonds did drop, with the non-farm payrolls today. Yields came up. So generally speaking, we, again, since we were on Tuesday, haven't really made, other than that big pop from the JOLTS number, haven't really got any traction. In fact, the market faded and kind of just traded sideways, understandably, with volume and so forth being very light. Maybe things are going to pick up, obviously, after this Labor Day weekend. Futures markets will be open on Sunday, by the way, everybody. So we will have a futures market Sunday going into Monday, Labor Day, and then opening at the same time. So let's get right into it. Again, give me a thumbs up, put some commentary in the chat. Also, get people to look at the channel so I can keep doing this. And if you want the newsletter, or I probably, obviously with the holiday, starting next week, I'm going to start a new class. I'll be posting that on Twitter. Probably options. We've, again, just speaking of options, let's actually get into that, because this week was really interesting. We had Lulu, we had Dollar General just got demolished. Retail, kind of a tale of two retailers. On one hand, Lulu. We actually did put on a position in Lulu, and it was looking really good this morning, and then they ran it up. We ended up, some of my members got out earlier this morning with a nice credit. And they ran it up, so we had to get out. The rest of us had to get out at break even, because they ran it over 400. And again, that's the volatility. We're also in Okta, which is doing well. There was a whole, going through the earnings this week, which I've been talking a little bit about. Dollar General just got demolished. I mean, that thing just got destroyed this week. We also had what was the other stock that really got hit? Actually, we had a nice pop in PDD, Pinduoduo. So, it was a mixed bag all the way across on earnings. But again, that's where the opportunities are in the options market. If you understand how to do that, that's probably going to be the next class I do. So understanding coming into the earnings. We do have still some more earnings next week. We'll be looking at those to see positioning on that. We did also put on a put in the S&P and the SPY going into the close here. Again, with the VIX at 13, getting into, and seasonality, and more importantly, dollar rallied, interest rates rallied. So, I would be very, very careful. The good thing is that the VIX at 13 gets you to buy protection very, very cheaply on the SPY. So volatility is really low on the SPY, which gives an opportunity if volatility picks up and if the market drops next week going into a seasonally weak period. So we did put on some puts on the SPY going into the close here. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and get into the charts, everyone. First of all, I have a chart. You can see we've been talking about using Tesla as a proxy. Notice what happened with Tesla. I just want to start with that real quick, because, remember, we bought Tesla here, we sold it there, then it ran up, hit all of these kind of resistance levels, and then just really got hit today. The reason I'm bringing this up is because there's going to be some really nice opportunities in Tesla in the options market coming into next week. That's what we're going to be looking at with our members. And clearly, this thing really got hit today. I was actually looking for a bigger level up top here to trade Tesla, but clearly, I've had this level. If you've been watching the videos, I've had this level right here as a resistance level, and then matching that up with the SPY. The SPY did come off another level. Let me bring in the SPY here so you guys can see. The SPY did come off actually on a daily, looking at some levels here a little bit higher. It just came right onto that gap and then sold off today. So there's this big gap on the daily in the SPY. You'll notice right there where the blue line is. And we actually touched that gap today and fell back down. I believe, I think we could probably pull back, with the seasonals. And if rates continue higher and the dollar continues higher, probably get a pull back down into this 440, 442 area on the SPY. On the future side, again, just lots of choppy trading. Again, that's been really the situation here. We've had, that big rally from earlier this week with the jolts, and then pretty much after that, for the last couple of days, just been again in this choppy, rangy, messy trade. Really, pullbacks are maybe down to here, but on the upside, really not a whole lot. Other than on the SPY. That's why I kind of rely more on the SPY these days for some levels. Qs also, the NASDAQ, similarly, that was 2 days of chop aside from that strong move. We have some levels up top here, some gap areas and so forth, but it'll be interesting. A lot of the AI stocks actually were pulled back today. Other than, we had Okta. Okta is actually pretty good. It's got a big old gap to fill up at 90. We're along from 87 with some calls. The Dow just again did come back up to where it broke down from and pulled back, but nothing dramatic there. The outperformer today was interesting, was the small caps. So the small caps did rally, but again, there's nothing on the charts. Maybe right there, but kind of attempted a pullback. The action again was in the bond market, particularly in the 30-year. The 30-year really got hit. So the next, really, it's going to be interesting to see if the 30-year holds right there. This is the 30-year bond contract, obviously massive level, but if they can't hold on to that, they're probably going to test that low again. Also the 10-year. So this is partly why the market didn't really gain any traction, more or less, because rates did jump back up again. If you look at the 10-year yield, it looks like it's headed back up to 436, and then the short end of the yield curve also. So all the way across the bond market did sell off today, and I think that's probably going to be another tailwind for stocks. Also, as I've been mentioning, the dollar tracking interest rates looks like that's ready to break out. This will also be pressuring stocks too. So all of this is setting up. It's going to be interesting if the dollar really tries to break out here. There's nothing on top here. We did get that pullback, and all the currencies, followed suit, obviously pulling back. So I do believe if the dollar breaks above 104.5, it's probably going to head much higher, and that's another possible. We don't know. We don't have a lot of data next week per se. We had the non-farm payroll. Everybody's kind of talking about. It's like every week it's like a different narrative in terms of economy and whatever. Bottom line is the economy slowing down. And we're getting into some really weak seasonal periods. So, and a lot of this today kind of aims at that. Obviously, we have low volume today, so there's a lot of algorithmic trading. But the dollar going like this is really going to be very, very a deterrent for further stock gains, I would tell you. Okay, and then you can see all the currencies, obviously, with the dollar surging like that. Just generally just chopping around, really. We haven't really made a ton of headway on all these currencies. You can see just a lot of chop. I don't know. And if any of you are trying to trade currencies right now, boy, the only currency really that moved, we were trying to get short peso here, came up a little bit shy and sold off. I guess they lifted a dollar hedge. And that's what caused that big move there. And then we have some support. So that's really been the only currency that has been really having any kind of nice moves. That's kind of why we've been focusing on that. Next week, we got Canada, Australia, Bank of Canada of Australia. So maybe that finally gets this thing moving. Silver also pulling back as the dollar's gaining. So there's some levels below on silver I'm looking at, and gold just dead in the water. The other potential mover today was oil. So oil did finally, break out. And again, this is maybe has to do with China, maybe has to do with the hurricane in the Gulf. Yeah, you can point to all kinds of things, but yeah, clearly now oil is on the run. We've had a lot of false breaks in oil, but this could be the real McCoy. We don't have any levels until we get up into the low 90s in oil. So it'll be interesting to see if they run this thing up, because there really isn't any levels here. Again, we were trying to get long here, and just, this, as you know, these markets, oil in particular, just out of the blue, it's all chop and then all of a sudden just pops. So that's going to be interesting to see. And, obviously pullbacks are to be engaged on the long side. So, and then, nat gas, nothing. And then the grains also just kind of chopping around. So all in all, I'm really thankful that we're coming back to more volume next week. Officially this ends the summer vacation season. Labor Day is usually, everybody's going back to school. Volume's going to start coming back into the markets. So that's really finally got through the summer, with a lot of chop and a lot of, back and forth movement, really making little progress throughout July and August. I mean, we're pretty much sitting on if you think about the S&P, we're just sitting right exactly where we were. Not that, back in, so if you think about it, there's May. If I draw that line right across, we basically are right where we were back in June and May on the S&P, a little bit slightly higher. You see that peak right there after having that big burst, coming all the way back, literally have been going nowhere for the entire summer for the last 4 or 5 months. Save that big rally, obviously, if you didn't get out. So we had a nice pullback, lots of chop, and we're kind of sitting, just 30, 40 points above that high. So essentially making very little progress. Similarly with the NASDAQ, is right. See, there's that peak right there. If I crosshairs, not that far off from there. So, obviously there's been some nice moves in between, but generally speaking, no material movement here. Okay. All right, everybody. I'm going to get out of here. Have a great weekend. I'll see you on Tuesday again. Probably set up a class. All the, if you want to sign up for the newsletter, if you have any questions for me, you can put them in the chat below or contact me at support@Transparent Trading Solutions. If not, have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Take care.